What's up, everybody? It's Jheat Blaze. I'm here with a very special guest, Nick from the Pheonix-Press. How you doing, buddy?
Fine and dandy like sour candy.
Now, what we're talking about today is I wouldn't say infamous, but definitely very flawed revival of Power Rangers 2017. Now,
After watching this movie, I gotta say, I have a really strong craving for Krispy Kreme.
yep, so did I. Now, this movie was okay. This movie was not as bad as critics made it out to be. Now, it was buried in product placement. And I was actually hungry after this, not gonna lie. But
Or are you hungry for Krispy Kreme? I'm deliberately trying to say it as creepy as possible.
Please stop. But I do have a few nitpicks. One, Rita Repulsa is not really an active villain. She's gravitas, don't get me wrong, but she always has henchmen making them grow and causing chaos. She's always more gravitas on the front line.
Oh, Elizabeth Banks Rita. She certainly makes my monster grow.
Yep, and hope if I was actually had 1,000 subscribers right now, I would definitely be getting demonetized right now. But Elizabeth Banks
she definitely makes me feel pretty golden.
Knock it off, Pheonix-Press! You dare sully the Empress!
I regret nothing!
Oh, my Goldar impression, everybody. But yeah, to make it a long story short, this felt like this could have been adapting like any Power Rangers episode prior to Green with Evil, just a very basic. This felt like Iron Man. This felt like a ripoff of Iron Man 08 in a lot of ways. Just a very. Go ahead, Nick.
So the best way, these aren't my words, but someone else kind of described the movie to me. It's an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half teen drama with a Power Ranger episode tacked on at the end. And if you kind of look at it that way, it makes perfect sense.
Definitely. That is actually a fair point. That is a very fair point.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was going to say is, I'm not really okay. You can have melodrama, but there's a fine line between melodrama and CW cringe.
Yeah, and the CW was all over this.
Every bit. Now, you can have like characters. Now, they did say in interviews that they wanted to be character focused. One, you didn't put in the work, so that failed. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
And two, you really didn't even have to try that hard. One, Rita is more gravitas than an actor. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to say it. Give the fans what they want. Adapt Green with Evil and have a live-action Tommy Oliver beating the crap out of the other Rangers. That would have been awesome.
It's clear that's where they were heading. Like,
yes,
if you watch the post-credit scene, it's very obvious that was going to be the second movie. Like, if you we'll kind of get to that, but like post-credit scene very clearly signals that.
Yeah, and I feel this reminds me very much of Green Lantern 2011, which isn't too bad on a rewatch, but yeah, I'm not going to say okay, with Green Lantern, it was just too ambitious, trying to expand, trying to copy the MCU and try to keep Green Lantern as grounded as possible. A space cop with grandiose adventures in a grounded origin story. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Whereas with what this one was trying to do, this one just dragged. Because I'm not saying you don't need to have the Megazords and just pure action from beginning to end, but you need a very specific premise. Rita attacks Angel Grove, chaos all around, teenager attitude are called to action, and they feel conflicted. Are they young? They're too young for this. They're not responsible enough. And the closest thing we had to a mature subplot is this version of Trini being LGBT. That's literally the closest thing we had to a mature subplot. This whole thing.
The thing is, I know like there's actually a lot of chatter on the internet. Like people made a big deal out of it, it's barely even one line. They don't even go right out and say it. So basically, what happens is they're having like a very much kind of like a breakfast club kind of like campfire, confessing their sins, and like Trini talks about like well, you know, something like relationship, and Zach says like with a boy, with a girl, and then she just drinks, you know, because I guess they're playing Never Have I Ever or whatever, or something similar, and that's it. Like it's very like if you know what, like it's about as an overt subtext as you can get. Like
Pretty
they don't
much.
go right out and say it, but they do everything but go out right and say it.
And the marketing team pretty much spoiled this scene before the movie even came out, because this is okay. This was around the time when outrage marketing was a big thing, or at least when
It was just starting to. Because remember, I'd say this stuff really kicked into high gear. Ghostbusters 2016. This
man, okay,
this came out the year afterwards.
oh,
I actually
God.
think this scene, like this moment, was very tastefully done. Like I will have to give them credit. They handled this moment very well.
Very with class, because the main thing about it is, yes, these people have insecurities. These people, they just want to be normal. They just want to have some level measure of acceptance. They're not asking for full gravitas on a stage in a soapbox most of the time. Some do, some don't. It depends. But
And I feel like some of the issues they handled, like for example, this film deals with revenge porn. Because like Kimberly, you know, she sent she literally sent a nude shot of her friends, and it got spread around. She literally did revenge porn, and she's rightfully ostracized, and she'll be the first to admit it. And it's like, I think they handled that situation masterfully.
yes, this was very tactful. But I feel like you're trying to balance, again, essentially a CW drama with a Power Rangers battle in the third act. You can't even naturally. They don't even get their suits. They don't even get summoned by Zordon until the tail end of the second act. And
I will say the emotional, like, because like Billy gets killed, and like, so I guess the whole thing is like they needed to morph so Zordon could kind of come back, but he uses that energy to revive Billy instead, which allows them to finally come together. Like, I'm sorry, like the lead up to that was great, you know, like the whole emotional stuff, and then finally said it's morphin' time, and they actually morphed. It was a good sequence, and also I got to give a shout out. The actress for Trini was wearing a shirt that said 1976, which was Tree Tang's birth year. So it's like, oh, you got a good tribute into Tree Tang. So it's like, okay, awesome.
now, would I say Becky G's performance was, yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I feel like she got done dirty by the script, because Becky G was a very relevant pop star during this time. I can't tell you whether or not she was a celebrity cast, but she did decent with what she was given. It was just a very lackluster script.
She was definitely the most famous person in that cast. Let's be well. I'm sorry, like the Power Rangers. Bryan Cranston was obviously the big star.
Who did the majority of the monster voices, mind you.
His connection to Power Rangers goes more than that. Like Billy Cranston is actually named after him.
Really?
Yeah, Bryan Cranston, Billy Cranston, and the fact that he did Power Ranger villain voices in the original run.
I never made that connection. I thought that was just a very generic name.
Yeah, like they actually named some of them off the crew members. Like for example, Tommy Oliver was named after producer Tony Oliver, who by the way was the voice of Saba.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
but now, do I say the high school element should have been toned down? Yes, especially. You did not need over an hour.
They were playing through like they're basically doing like the greatest hits of 80s high school tropes. Like they thought they were a John Hughes movie.
Pretty much. And now this is the cardinal sin of this film. There was a deleted scene where Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson were going to make a cameo, and it got cut out last minute.
Actually, no, they didn't make a cameo in the movie. There's another scene where the cameo that got cut out, but they actually do cameo at the very end.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like after the Zord the Megazord appears, and like you see that wide shot of people, and you see both of them, and then like Jason and Frank, he actually like raises his camera to take a picture of it.
Oh, yeah, it's a very blink and you miss it thing.
Yeah, but they do cameo, but like there was actually an additional scene where like they're playing with their food in Krispy Kreme, and like they actually look over.
What? Why? Okay, was this movie solely funded by Krispy Kreme? Why the hell is there so much product placement in this movie?
It's really bad. It's like the fact that like the whole point of the movie is the Zeo crystal, which by the way we need to kind of talk about that aspect here in a second. But like it's bare like it's just like and like Rita's like Krispy Kreme, like they say it so many times. Like I just want to make a supercut of this movie. Like every time someone mentions Krispy Kreme,
It'd be about
really
6.
bad.
It'd be about 6 years too late, but at least you get a few chuckles out of it.
Yeah,
But I mean, you have the Zeo. Okay, if your big scheme was to steal the Zeo crystal and it's under this restaurant, it's your MacGuffin and everything. Just blow up the building and grab the damn crystal. Like, why are we wasting? Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
Like it depends on how far down it is. Like it seems like the Zeo crystal was pretty far down there. So yeah,
that is true. That is true. I will play devil's advocate on that, but that doesn't mean you have to waste 45 minutes. Oh, Krispy Kreme. What is this concoction? Now, Elizabeth Banks, she was the best performance in this cast by far.
Oh, she was having a ball.
Oh, but with such a lackluster script, I'm not going to go as far as say the director and the screenwriter were hacks. I will never openly badmouth creative vision.
The directors and the screenwriters were hacks.
Yeah, they were hacks.
I said it, not you.
They were hacks. But okay, did this guy just want to get on CW that badly? Like, why are you here? Is it just because this was a cheap production? Is it just to save a few bucks? Because Lionsgate has made some decent movies and some solid IPs. I honestly believe this was just a crapshoot. Now, I will admit this. They were chasing trends with the success of the MCU and trying to make an interconnected Power Rangers universe. 1, Boom Comics ironically ended up doing this better. 2, chasing trends hardly ever works out. If you're willing to create your own niche and take your own spin on these traits, that's one thing. But if you're just copying what the first guy did, it never ends well. Velma. Excuse me.
Yeah, we're kind of getting the weeds here, though.
Yeah. And the less said about Rick and Morty, the better. It's a good show, but yeah, I'm just sick of the memes. I'm just sick of it.
But Jheat, you have to have a high IQ to understand the show, right?
What's high IQ about Pickle Rick?
Well, you see, it what it really deals with is the Jungian archetypes. Oh, I can't even go there. you look like you're about ready to pop a vein, bro.
No, man, I'm good. Go ahead, talk about it. Go ahead.
I was just trying to BS. Yes, so.
I will give some credit. In the later seasons, Morty does stop being a pansy and come into his own. But that's the only real highlight of that show. The rest is just toxic nonsense.
Yeah, we can talk about that some other time. But like, yes, like the Zeo Crystal I actually thought was a nice world building. And as far as like lore implications, I actually really like because like this film introduced the idea that Rita was the original Green Ranger, and that's why she has the green power coin. Because like, yeah, like that's why she's wearing green. Like her staff has the green power coin in it. Like I think that is like a great bit of world building that sets up Green Ranger really well because it's never really explained in Power Rangers why she has the green power coin.
Oh yeah. She just happens to have it. I believe it was explained in in the Boom comics, it was explained. It was a series of heists and shenanigans with Dark Spectre, and Rita just ended up stealing it one day. But yeah, it made sense within the context of the movie. I just feel like if you just went straight with Green with Evil, had Rita be more like a mastermind type villain, and resolve something like that, you would have gotten more fan appeal, and you would have met fan expectation. And not even writing off nostalgia. Any Rangers versus Rita altercation could have been played off. Could have been adapting a generic filler episode.
Like, honestly, the greatest sin of this movie is the fact that it didn't get a sequel, because I actually think a sequel to this movie probably would have been really good, because they got all the character development out of the way. They're now Power Rangers. And the fact they're going to adapt Green with Evil, I actually think Green with Evil in this...
it would have looked spectacular.
I mean, it would have been predictable as hell, because, like, we all know, like, basically, what probably the storyline would have been is that Tommy was going to take Jason's place on the football team, and that he was going to be a rival for Kimberly the Factory. I mean, we pretty much know, like...
But, it would have been melodramatic as hell.
But I think it probably could have been pretty good. Like, I actually think... I just really hope, they kind of redo that one scene from Power Rangers where Kimberly's like, I know you're the Green Ranger. And he just, like, all threatens her and whatnot. Like, actually kind of hope they would have, like, redone that scene. Because that would be so cool in that kind of format.
Definitely. And I just feel like everyone kind of, like, just jumped the gun. I'm not going to say this was nostalgia baiting. People were just blatantly pissed off. Because you had Ghostbusters 2016. Ghostbusters 2016, I don't really see... I get why people were pissed off, but all you did... Oh, God. Every time I think about it, I just cringe. But...
Yeah.
Would you say... Yeah, the less said about it, the better. But, Afterlife was great. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Ghostbusters. But if this had actually gotten a sequel, I could see it. But what if it's made money? Would it sell?
I don't know.
Because Power Rangers 2017, it wasn't a flop, mind you. Let me clear the air. Power Rangers 2017 wasn't a flop. It just didn't meet the numbers the executives wanted. And there was actually talks about Power Rangers Zeo being adapted. There was going to be this grand scale thing leading up to at least the first era with Dark Spectre in space. But Saban wasn't having it, and everything just felt... And this was around the time the Hasbro sale was taking place, and the deal just fell apart. Maybe with the success of Cosmic Fury coming up on Netflix, now using original footage and doing its own thing going forward, it may establish some goodwill, but I doubt it. I feel like Power Rangers 2017 was a one and done.
Oh, they already said they're doing a new movie, but it's not going to be in this continuity. So yeah, this universe is dead and buried. Which I think there's a couple different things. Like, for one, a couple of these actors are more expensive. Like Dance Montgomery, the Red Ranger, went on to Stranger Things, and then
that is true.
The Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, literally played Jasmine in Aladdin. So. And then the actor for Adam, he played Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat. So it's like these characters are varying degrees and more famous than they were before. So it costs them more to bring them on. Like,
I mean, they're not A tier by any means, but they're drastically more expensive to add on than they were 6 years ago.
They were D tier when they hired them. Now some of them are like C or B tier.
Especially the Red Ranger who got on Stranger Things. I'd say he's about B tier. I'm not going to say he's A tier just yet.
I mean, the fact that the actress for Kimberly literally started a Disney movie, that is not insignificant.
Oh, no, by any means. I'd say she's definitely low B. She's definitely low B at this point.
And then you also had the actor who played Adam go on to play Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat. So it's like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, but Power Rangers 2017 was just a very cheap production through and through. That's the biggest sin of this film.
It's yeah, like I feel like it's also we need to talk about the Zord. We need to talk about the Zord designs. They are low budget. Like it's obviously they're from the Transformers school of like robot design, and not like the good Transformers.
Nope. I don't even think the toys sold well because the Tyrannosaur looked generic. I think the only one that looked decent was maybe the Pterodactyl and Mastodon. The others just look generic as all hell.
Yeah. Like they look like low rent Transformers robots. Like it's like over designed to hell.
But again, the MCU is very over designed and they were copying the MCU. Funny how that turned out. First Warner Brothers Discovery, now Lionsgate. The only difference is Lionsgate cut their losses. Hamada played damage control for 5 years and gave us Wonder Woman 84, Birds of Prey, Batgirls potentially, but it was unsalvageable. And DC's a mess right now in terms of live action.
Yeah. You want to wrap this up?
Yeah. Different conversation for a different day. But please let us know in the comments if you actually like Power Rangers 2017, what you like about it. Please let us have this conversation and celebrate 30 years of Power Rangers for once and always on April 18th. I bring the heat, you bring the blaze. Nick, it was a pleasure. Excelsior!
Woohoo!